Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our Financial Sense webinar. My name is Abby Sachs, and I'm the Assistant Director for Corporate Partnerships here at Grand Valley State University. I'm excited to join today with my colleagues in Alumni Relations and our friends at Consumers Credit Union for today's webinar. Just a few housekeeping notes. If you'd like to ask a question at any point during the presentation, we will be saving some time at the end for Q&A and dialogue with our presenters. So you can use the Q&A box that's down at the bottom of your screen, or depending on if you're mobile, wherever that is, if you're mobile. And then also throughout, we'll be dropping some helpful links in the chat. So the Q&A box is specifically for any questions or thoughts or comments or insights that you want to share, and I'll help moderate that towards the end. And then again, keep an eye on the chat for some helpful links as well. So I'm pleased to introduce Eric and Jesse with Consumers Credit Union, and I will let you both take it away from here.
Great. Thank you so much. We're excited to be here, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. This is a great topic, especially if you're planning for those education costs in the future, if you have some little ones at home or considering that. We got some really great information here that you can just learn from and hopefully apply to your family. So what we'll do is hop in here and just to give a little introduction myself, and I'll let Jesse do the same, is again, my name is Eric Edgington. I work for Consumers Credit Union. I am a manager here at our Bretton Village location here in Grand Rapids. And we work with families for budgeting, for planning, all types of different types of products and things that we help with families all the time. So, if there's ever any additional information, you know where to find us. And Jesse, I'll let you go ahead and share a little bit about yourself as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Devine. I'm a financial advisor with Consumer Credit Union and LPL Financial. Today I just hope to help shed some light and give you a little bit of insight on some of the things that's affecting the next generation of college students, and hopefully give you some good information to help making the college decision, and at least from a financial piece, a little bit easier. So I'm happy to be here, and hopefully everything goes great.
Great. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to share our presentation here. We'll get this party started. All right, so this is our family planning for higher education costs. So today we hope to gain a few things out of this presentation, and it's learn about the cost of higher education, discover some of the financial strategies that align with a family's financial and educational goals, and then evaluate those strategies using the higher or for funding higher education, and then create an action plan for your family. We'll jump back and forth, and then just as a reminder again, just throw your questions in the comments. The presentation won't be too long, so we hope to have some discussion afterwards, and please share your questions. So what are some of your family's long-term education goals? If it's attending a college, in-state or out-of-state, these are all things that impact the decisions on how you should plan for it. Help your student choose either a higher education school or technical school, such as that HVAC, welding, or other types of specific trainings. And then find that other opportunities through dual enrollment for them at a nearby college. So there are a lot of different types of goals that you can set for your family, and obviously those things will change over the years as well. So your goals often do change with that, especially as your children begin to discover what they love and want to learn more about. Those goals may change too, but putting in a financial plan ahead of time is really, a key piece to helping with those family goals.
So on this next slide, as you can see, since the 1900s, believe it or not, that was a long time ago, that the cost of college has consistently been rising over the years. So as you can see, starting off in 19 63 where it was at compared to where levels at now. College tuition for the year to attend college is upwards of 45,000 now. Essentially, this shows that planning early for college is going to be essential part of your success. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and we know too, if you've watched any recent news, a lot of it's changing through student loans and how to prepare for college. So it's very important to start early because a lot of those costs may get put back on the parents and the students for colleges, whereas before they might be able to supplement through grants or through student loans. So it's really important to start that plan early.
So, saving versus investing for college. How are two different financial? Well, these are two different financial strategies you can use. So, saving for college, not to make it like an age thing, but basically saving for college will be more appropriate, I would say, for like older individuals. As you get older, you definitely want to take less risk. If college is something that you're going to be doing in the next couple years, you're kind of at that age where you're getting a late start. You definitely want to be on the more saving side. Saving side is definitely going to be safer. Some options that's available to you is a savings account. You can kind of start working summer jobs, maybe even putting money away there. We have CDs, money markets accounts, bonds, and cash. Most of these will definitely fall more on the safer side of options. However, on the other side of that is investing for college. So the younger you are, you have a greater time horizon. So you have a longer chance and a greater opportunity to actually invest younger, and then that way over years those investments can grow, and then that will give you additional money for college. So if you're younger, a good way to start is traditional investing or taking a route of like a 529 college saving plan, which we'll cover in the coming slides.
So, what options are you exploring? There's obviously multiple types of education that you can get between four-year college and university, in-state, out-of-state, community colleges, trade programs, starting a business, going through military, or straight into the workforce. So there's a lot of different options that you have to explore. And again, it's about kind of figuring out what is the right path for the person that will be attending, that post-high school education, and just kind of talking through what are the goals and what are the specific desires. And that's really going to help kind of figure out that time horizon, which is an important component of identifying how you're going to save and plan for your higher education.
So as you can see here on this slide, when you look at the cost of all your different options, the most expensive cost is definitely going to be like a private four-year or private non-profit college. Second highest will be a public four-year college. And then you have the public four-year in-state and a public two-year in-district. Now, when it comes to college education, I'm a first generation college student myself, so I know how hard it could be kind of navigating this spectrum and trying to figure out exactly where you want to go and how do you see yourself fit. Best advice I have, even before you get to a financial piece, is just look at some of your career objectives or look at some of your personal objectives. College is an investment. So when you look at a 2-year option, maybe it's kind of help you figure yourself out, figure some things out before making that leap and taking a long-term investment. Each college, whether it be 4-year or 2-year, has its pros and cons. And I just think the biggest thing you could do before making that investment is find out exactly what it is you want to do and see which option is going to give you the best opportunity to maximize your potential. And, I definitely would try to say go in that direction, just weighing out your options financially. And if you can, just plan and prepare for one. So,
Exactly. So one of the other options is doing that concurrent or dual enrollment. So a lot of high schools offer some great options for a dual enrollment. And basically what that means is like when you're in high school, you have the capability of also working through some gen eds general education classes through your local community college. So you get those educational benefits to where you also get to challenge the student, give them a little bit more world experience, kind of understand subject matter a little bit deeper level to see if some of those, the path that they want to kind of look down, it makes sense or not. So it's a really good opportunity to for that student to get exposed to new ideas. And then you earn credits along the way too, which is fantastic. That saves money later on down the road, and then they can graduate early and get into that workforce quicker with less debt, which is obviously a goal for anyone that's attending college. So you have any thoughts on that too? Because I know you used to work for a college at one point as well.
Yeah, so I used to work in admissions, and definitely the dual enrollment program is definitely going to help you out. Essentially, dual enrollment allows you to begin taking college courses in high school. So by the time you get to senior year, a lot of students can transfer directly into a college they would partner with, and then be able to earn an associate's degree within a year. And sometimes the way dual enrollment programs are set up, you can actually graduate from high school with an associate's degree, I believe. So definitely taking advantage of dual enrollment programs is going to save you money because there's less classes that you're going to have to take when you get to college. So getting that head start is definitely going to be essential to your success as a college student, if possible. So.
Um,
So a little bit of what I just touched on that previous slide, dual enrollment save money. How is you able to do that? Being in a dual enrollment program by credit. So at a 4-year public school, a credit hour costs around $303 on average. So basically it makes the dual enrollment course worth it. On the other hand, a 4-year private school tends to charge $978 per credit hour, making a dual credit worth $3,912. So by semester, every five concurrent enrollment classes can save a semester of college. So based on that cost of different college options, that saving is worth thousands. So just to put that in a more easier way to digest is just like taking advantage of those early college credits is going to save you on credits that you may have to take in the future. So it just helps make college more affordable.
All right, so like where do you look for this information? There's all kinds of options out there and resources out there. So one is start at the high school. Most of most high schools provide a plethora of information regarding dual enrollment opportunities. You can also look at local community college systems and connect with them. They typically offer all types of information for that dual enrollment as well. And then same with those local public colleges. So the key to all of that is just start having the conversations and asking questions and working with the schools and or community colleges to identify those opportunities. And there's also resources online, so you can look for those dual enrollment programs by state and get connected that way as well.
So basically, this slide is going to go over some of the things that's going to help you better calculate the cost of college. So, being a high performer definitely takes a lot of preparation. So some of the things you're going to need to do that effectively is knowing your household income, expenses, future income outlook, total assets, desired level of education, estimated cost of education and financial aid. The first job is going to access the calculator that's going to be able to allow you to calculate those things and figure out ways you can save on college expenses.
So one of the ways that you can get started is with FAFSA, which is your student aid program. And it really helps you determine your eligibility for those college related financial assistance. There's calculators online that you can access to really plug in all of the things that Jesse was just talking about to identify, okay, how much financial aid can I get? and how much, is that going to work within the budget? So you and your student must pay every year. Be sure to make the FAFSA deadline. So there's cutoff times for accessing student loans. But once you've completed it, you receive a student aid report, which shows the expected family contributions and eligibility for federal grants or the student loans and you can apply online. It's a pretty easy process if you've never done it before. So and there's also, again, resources all over the place for helping apply through that, typically through your school system as well.
So that brings us to the next slide. So what are going to be some of the tools and different vehicles that's going to allow you to save and invest in your future education? So the first option, as we mentioned earlier, is going to be savings. So that's going to be a traditional saving account. How that will look is working, again, a summer job or maybe birthday money or gifts over the years and placing those in a savings account. We offer those at Consumers. So that's just going to basically, gain a yearly deposit interest every year, low risk, and you just traditionally try to save as much as you can for college. The second option we're going to lean into with a Roth IRA. So a Roth IRA is a type of retirement account to where you invest. A Roth is capped, so it has a set limit on how much you can contribute to that Roth every year. But the biggest benefit of having a Roth account, is going to be the tax savings. So you're going to pay taxes now on that money, essentially, when you invest in a Roth IRA, in which that money will grow tax free over time. And when you take that money out and use it for qualified educational expenses, you won't have to pay taxes later. The good thing about a Roth is the tax advantage, but the downside to a Roth could be that having a Roth is going to limit you to what you can put into that plan every year, which leads us to the next vehicle, which is a 529 college saving plan. So a 529 college savings plan basically allows you to save for a college. This is also a tax treated product, which means that as long as you use the 529 for qualified educational expenses, there won't be any penalties or taxes due on the money that you use for college savings, which is critical and crucial. So basically, you're allowed to work, invest in a 529 college saving plan. Your parents can set one up for you, or it could be a grandparent or even a family friend. They don't even have to be related to you. And then later, those funds will be able to be used for your college educational expenses tax free. Now, kind of like a Roth, 529 college saving plan does have a limit, but those limits are a little bit higher. Right now, I believe for single individuals, you can save about $19,000 per year for 529 college saving plans, and for married couples, it's $38,000. And once you have a 529 college saving plan set up, those funds will be invested in state-sponsored funds, mutual funds, and those investments will grow over time. So kind of the opposite of saving, where you just set a set amount of money in and wait to receive interest. Those funds will actively be invested throughout your life, and by the time you go to college, the hope will be that it's more money available for your college expenses. And then the good thing about that is not one of those things you either use it or lose it. I believe in 2014 there was some legislation that was passed that will allow you to roll over any unused funds from your 529 plan into a Roth IRA, in which you can use for retirement. So it's kind of nice. So the last option we have on here is prepaid tuition. So as we showed you in an earlier slide, tuition has historically increased over the years. So let's say if you were one of those individuals who decide to go to Grand Valley, when you're older, you make that decision, let's say in ninth grade, you can actually lock in a tuition rate now and pay that in. And that way you can hedge against inflation and rising costs. If you lock in a rate now, you pay that tuition now. And then when you go to college in 4 years, the ideal would be that that rate will be the same. So that also saves you down the road. So do you got anything you want to add to that, Eric?
The only thing I'd add is the 529 plan is great. We started one for my son when he was 1 year old. The great thing about that is, if you don't want to keep getting all the toys for their birthdays that make all the noise. It's a great thing that you can send a link to your family and they can invest into the 529 plan and put money away for your kid as well. So it's a really good, useful tool for just planning ahead. And oftentimes people like to give more when they know it's going towards a good cause like education. So 529 is something that we implemented early on for my son, and it's been a great tool ever since. All right, so which savings plan is right for my family? Are there fees associated with the plans? How do I withdraw money, and what is that money used for? These are all really good questions and things that it's worth talking to an advisor about. Somebody like Jesse or somebody trusted in the family. To go through these different questions. There are pros and cons to every savings option. So it's just a matter of kind of understanding. Again, what are your goals? And then how easy is it to set up? There's all kinds of questions, and and a lot of people out there that are really willing to help to help with that long-term planning. So the best advice that we can really give with regards to any of these types of plans is just have the conversations early. Conversations don't cost anything to have, and they can really make a major impact for many families down the road.
So this kind of brings us to this next slide. So if you really look at college, kind of look at it as a process. Definitely one of the first steps in that process would be determining your goals. What are going to be some of your educational goals? How much time have you allotted to that goal? And begin to look at costs. How much is it going to cost? Is it something that you have now? Is it something that you need to invest for? Is it something you can save for? So just having goals is definitely going to allow you to better prepare for that. Just kind of knowing the direction before going in it, and then just having a plan to execute. So, secondly, again, that goes back to the plan. Just setting up that plan. Once you kind of know where you want to go, you definitely want to choose that investment or look at that vehicle that's going to get you to your destination. Sometimes, again, determining an amount to start, different assets that you're going to have available to invest in, and then thirdly, once you have the goal set out, you kind of got a plan on how to make that goal happen. Look at implementing that plan. So basically some of the things we suggest is automating the savings and investment process. So that could be setting up a savings account and just do a direct deposit to that account, $50 a week out of your check to kind of just help that process out so you can be more consistent in making this happen. Again, that leads to making regular contributions. And then lastly, review the plan and adjust accordingly. A lot of us sometimes set out in one direction. I kind of did that going into it. I thought I was going to be an engineer at one point, and then I kind of got into manufacturing and didn't like the 40-hour minimum work weeks working in a factory, and then I just kind of didn't like the overtime that came with that, so I made a decision to go into finance. I was always passionate about math, and again, two different fields, but luckily engineering definitely costs more than getting an education to become an advisor, so I end up saving. But some of you, it may be the opposite. Some of you may start off going to school to be an RN and find out you want to go to school to become a doctor, which is more expensive. So again, just adjusting as you go along and making adjustments so you can be better prepared and make that happen. So
All right, so it's really about the action plan, and I know we've been kind of hammering this one pretty hard, but figuring out those SMART goals for those education costs, brainstorming specific actions to achieve the goals, set that timeline and time horizon for the goals, and then gather all of your resources, talk to people, talk to schools, talk to advisors to help with accomplishing those goals and making sure that you are set up for success. And then monitor progress as you go. You will have to adapt and make changes. And just like what Jesse was talking about, there are certain avenues that you go down in education that are going to cost more than others. So you may have to adjust your plan as you go as well. So have some flexibility built into your plan. But nonetheless, getting started and starting now is the best thing that you can do to really create a successful action plan. And that takes us to the wrap up. So what we talked about was just the higher costs of education and how to plan for that, how to identify the resources that are available to you. We talked about some of the financial strategies that align with your family financial and educational goals. And then how to evaluate the financial strategies for funding that higher education. And then lastly, you're creating that action plan for your family and just, again, pooling those resources and having those conversations to really identify, your SMART goals, your time horizons, and the education path that this person is going to go on. So, having all of those things in line is really going to help someone be successful. So we have all kinds of digital resources as well available through consumercu.org. We have all kinds of digital resources where you can go in there. There's calculators, there's additional information to really help you kind of get a grasp on where to start and how to, what things that you need to know in order to get your that process started. So there's all kinds of financial basics and not only with higher education, but other financial resources as well. So we always try to encourage people, if you're looking for more information, it's a great place to go and to get some additional financial education. And we just want to say thank you for having us, and hopefully that this made a big difference for you guys, or at least got your mind moving in the right direction. But we're very thankful to be here and to work with GVSU on providing this information. So I guess at this point, we'll open it up to any questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Eric and Jesse. Again, use the Q&A box if you have any questions. We will be monitoring that. We'll give folks a few moments to think and maybe frantically type. It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot. And I think like one of the things that I always like to share with people is, really look at the 529 plans to get started, especially if you have little ones at home. Our family started that early, and like I was kind of briefly talking about the 529 plan earlier, just by getting something set up really early. Even if your child decides that they aren't going to go to college, you can transfer that 529 plan to another child. So or to another person. So it's really great option for helping somebody or just planning the future. Even if they don't know what they want to do, it's a great way where you can still have some flexibility with financial education.
Yeah, and then I would like to just add a little piece to that. I hope I didn't steal any of y'all questions that you probably were going to ask, but if you've been following the news with the big, beautiful tax bill, and also with some positive changes to the 529, one was that profession and continuing education. So some of us are in careers to where you might want to go into finance, or you might want to go into something that requires professional continuing education. You are able now to use, after next year, I believe it starts, some of that 529 resources for that as well. And another big one was K through 12. So it's not always college anymore. So some people decide to send their kids to private schools. So part of that bill will be allowing individuals who have a 529 plan to use that for K through 12 expenses, which is huge if your kids is in a private school. I know I live in Holland. There's a ton of private elementary and middle schools. So that's huge for a lot of families as well outside of college. So just to throw that in there.
Great. Well, if other questions come up, Eric and Jesse, I would assume are pretty easy to find, and would be happy to chat more. But thank you again so much for being here and sharing your insights from your work. And we appreciate you taking the time to share with our alums. And thank you to our attendees as well. We are going to put a link in the chat for some additional upcoming events that we have. We also will have a follow-up email with additional resources, and we hope that you, again, keep an eye on our upcoming webinars, our Retire Well events, and more of our Financial Sense series. So thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you.